Hello, everyone. Robert Yazbek here with Team Yazbek at Coldwell Banker. Excited to have Jason Lacy with us today. Welcome, Jason.
Hey, welcome. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Jason is the current Steamboat Springs City Council president. He's an attorney here in town, a family man, and someone who is very active in our community, especially with nonprofits, where he's been involved on many boards and doing lots of volunteer work with, I would say countless nonprofits almost at this point over the years. Jason's been doing a great job keeping the community informed as to what's going on through this pandemic, and I'm really excited to have him for a few minutes today. Thanks for
Happy to be here, Robert.
Appreciate it. Hey, first of all, how are you and your family handling the situation?
Yeah, it's I won't lie, it's been tough. I have three young boys. Their ages 9, 6, and 3. So, this is hard for them, especially. They really miss their friends. They miss school. They miss all their activities and sports and things like that. But we're all adjusting. We're all getting in new routines, at least for the short term, hopefully. And it's, as you say, there are also some silver linings that we get more time together. We're spending some more time getting out for more walks, more hikes. My wife, she's taking them out on some cross country trips, cross country skiing. So that's really cool.
That's great.
It is a challenge, but at the same time, we like to use this time to try to reconnect and really get to kind of spend a little more time than definitely I've been able to. And I just really, for my wife in particular, she's kind of become the full-time substitute teacher here in the house. And I know for people that have kids in school, I know how hard that can be. It's hard to manage, doing the, regular life. And then now we're also trying to help with all the daily school stuff in a way that we never did before. So I really just kind of tip my hat to everyone out there I know who's going through that part of this, because it's hard, and I totally understand.
No question about it. Yeah. It's not like we had a bunch of extra time on our hands before this, right?
Right. Right.
Well, good deal. Glad you guys are getting the time to connect and finding the silver linings there. So unprecedented times, obviously, as president of city council, what are the biggest challenges facing Steamboat at this time and in the coming months?
Yeah, I think, really, I think the biggest challenge that we face is really with the difficulty on to how it's really hard to predict the duration of this event and really how long it might negatively impact, the local, state, and national economy. A pandemic situation is like we have now is really different than, say, a normal, in quotes, natural disaster like a wildfire or a tornado or a flood or something like that. With those events, you kind of get the impact almost immediately with what happens, and it's done, and you start the rebuilding phase almost instantaneously. But with this, it's really hard to know, with the virus, how it will change, how much longer it might change our lives from a health, economic, and social perspective. So it's difficult to assess the total damage because, again, we don't know how long it's going to last, and then it's just hard to anticipate, how that could affect us because we just don't know how long it's going to last. And really, I think being a small community, we have limited health resources, so to deal with any kind of outbreak, that we might have from this. So I think that's a challenge. So far, it looks like we've been pretty fortunate to have fairly low numbers so far of cases.
Yeah.
So part of that, though, is probably due to our limited testing capacity. And, the hospital here and our other local health providers, they've really done a great job, stepping up to this challenge. But we have to remember, we have a hospital with 39 beds, and we have limited capacity to deal if we do have an outbreak here. So we just really have to be cognizant of that, and hopefully we can get some more robust testing quickly, and that's really going to be an important component to easing these restrictions that we have in place right now.
Yeah.
And other challenges, on the economic front, we have, for anybody living paycheck to paycheck and businesses that are working on tight margins, this is going to be a serious challenge. So that's why really the federal, state, and local government, they have to step up as much as they can and be flexible and provide as much support as they possibly can to help get us through this time.
No question. No question.
Yeah.
And so yeah, obviously we're leaning on federal and state quite a bit. What is the city doing to pivot and find solutions?
Sure. So, first thing we did, we saw this was going to be a pretty big impact immediately. So we've provided some sales tax relief to local businesses. We've already done. We already did an extension on the February sales tax amounts that were the February 20th date. We extended those payments and returns to be due instead on March 20th, and then we've extended the. So we did an extension from February to March, and we're doing another one from March to April. And we're going to keep extending the sales tax relief so people can pay those at least 30 days late and not have any interest or penalties. They still need to file their returns, but we are giving extra time to make those payments because we obviously understand that cash flow is tight for a lot of businesses right now, and that's just that's a struggle. So we're trying to help out there. We're also continuing, a lot of people rely on our bus service to get, especially a lot of our essential workers, grocery store workers and people like that, to get to and from work and get to essential businesses so they can get their shopping done and go to the store, go to the pharmacy, go to the hospital, whatever it might be. So we're going to keep the bus service going. We are doing extra things to keep it clean and safe. We're doing extra cleanings at night. We're making sure people sit apart from each other. Our bus drivers are wearing masks. So we're doing everything we can to keep that going because we know that's really an important thing that helps out the community. So we're also, we're still supporting the chamber. We provide a lot of funding for the chamber, both for their ongoing operations and marketing as well. And if people haven't done so, they should really check out the Chamber's website. They have a lot of good resources at steamboatchamber.com that can help businesses that are struggling, can help employees if they're looking on, for finding ways on how to file for unemployment. They just have a real great menu of resources on that page that I strongly encourage people to look at. So
that's great.
So those are some of the big things we're doing right now, and we're also looking at our budget. It's tough right now. We're obviously concerned. We have sales tax as our main way to fund city government. So we're looking at trimming back some of our expenses, but we're also we have a pretty healthy reserve. So we're trying to balance, obviously we have to make some cuts, but we're also trying to balance that with the fact that we need to keep some of these services going to help people in the community. So we're going to probably use some of our reserves to help a lot of our services stay intact so people can hopefully weather this storm a little bit better.
That's great. Good time to have a healthy reserve, huh?
Yeah, I know, right? You have to plan for these rainy days when times are good. So we've been fortunate to do that.
No question. That's great. It's incredible to be living in a community like this, going through something like this. You can see the support and the, planning and organization and structure and stuff is here. So it's great. Feels really good.
Absolutely.
All right. So what do you recommend to business owners being affected by this situation locally?
Yeah. First thing, I think they really need to talk to their advisors, their CPAs, their attorneys, whoever it might be that help them with looking at some of the relief options that are being offered by certainly at the federal level and even at the state level as well. Again, you check out the Chamber's website, you can see some of these opportunities, and there's a lot of money that's actually available to help businesses stay open and bridge this kind of gap that they're having right now with everything from the Paycheck Protection Program, and there's economic injury disaster loans. These are all backed by the SBA, and there's a lot of good programs like that. So I definitely encourage people to talk to your advisors, talk to your banker, talk to your CPA about how you can tap into those resources to help not just keep your business afloat, but keep your employees on and keep them paid at least for another couple months, because some of these loan programs even offer loan forgiveness if you use the monies for appropriate things like payroll and rent and utilities and mortgage payments and things like that. So really worth looking into. There's a lot of stimulus out there that can help people get through this time. Also, I would really encourage the business owners to talk to their landlords and/or their lenders about the flexibility that they need right now. This
Yes.
is not going to be a time for, a lot of these businesses, especially the ones that have been forced to close because of the governor's stay-at-home order. They're not going to have the revenues they normally would to be able to pay their normal rent or pay their normal mortgage payment or pay their employees. So
Yeah.
I think it's really a time for all those people in that kind of line, from lenders to landlords to tenants, to really do as much as they can to be flexible with each other and understand that, yeah, sure, maybe you would have, as a landlord or a lender, you could look at foreclosing or evicting someone, but is that really the smart move right now? And is that really going to be the long-term play to help get to the other side of this? Because I don't see a lot of people that would be lining up right now to take those spots if you're kicking those people out right now. So we just all have to come together as a community to work together to help get through this. So, and I would just say, as far as businesses go, also if there's any way you can adapt, look for ways to adapt right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, like in my private practice, I'm trying to find ways to get people to, use these Zoom options, for meetings, or signings, and also happy to do phone conferences. And I know some businesses obviously don't have that flexibility because they're ordered to be closed, but
Yeah.
I think as you can look for ways to adapt and think about being flexible and looking to the future, and even thinking about how some of these changes you might want to incorporate in the long run now, do some business planning. That would be a smart move right now.
No question. That's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the local banks have been great about helping with the PPP loans and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And yeah, I love what you're saying about talking to the landlords and everything. That's a great point. Good advice.
Yep.
Okay, sir. What can we do as residents to pitch in and make a difference?
So I think the most important thing people can do is to really follow the public health orders and take them seriously. I know it's hard, and I know the longer this goes, it's going to be even harder for people to, keep separate, keep all the physical distancing going and things like that. But I actually think that if we follow these orders as much as we can, it's going to actually help us get through this more quickly and help us on the backside get to that recovery phase a lot more quickly. So I just can't emphasize that enough. Again, a lot of that has to do particularly with us here in a rural area with our limited health resources. That's another reason why these health orders are so important for us to take them seriously and make sure we do our part to stay apart, and that way we can get through this much more quickly. Otherwise, if you're financially strong enough, you have a good financial situation, I would encourage giving to any of our local nonprofits and other organizations that are really helping get us through this time. There's so many great groups out there. I see everyone from, Lift Up, I see, United Way, I see, Mind Springs Health. I see so many, or I can't even name them all, advocates. I mean, they're all doing great work and doing so many things to help all the people that might be having, some struggles during this time. So those places, those organizations, they need donations always, but they particularly need them now. And I'd really encourage, if anyone has that financial flexibility to help, to do that, because they could really use it now. I'd also say, support local businesses as much as you can. This is a time to, even if you can't go out to the restaurant, you can do takeout, you can do delivery, do that as much as you can. You can buy gift cards, especially for some of these businesses that can't be open as much as they used to. And they're hoping they can just keep the lights on through this process so they can see the other side of this. So as much as you can support those local businesses, that's really important. I'd say check on others in need, friends, neighbors, family, whoever you can check on to make sure if they have any needs, help them with groceries, people that can't get out, people that are more at risk, people with, underlying medical conditions, people that are older. Just try to, be that Steamboat community that I know we are. And I'm seeing and hearing about it out there so much, all the people stepping up. You look on social media and you can see it happening over and over. And just keep that up, because that's what makes us special, and that's how I know we're going to get through this. I just can't say when, but I know we're going to get through it because I see all the quality people and what they're doing out there. So another thing, they could also PPE, personal protective equipment, is something we've been trying to make sure we have enough of here locally. So if you have any access to that and you can donate some unopened PPE to the hospital, you can call the Yampa Valley Medical Center Foundation, and they take those donations, and that would be really important to do. And also, the governor has initiated a face mask campaign to try to, use when you go, and the governor's asking people when they go out in public to wear face masks, non-medical ones, as much as they can. So if you have some of those to give to people, or you can make some, that would be great. And the last thing I would say residents can do that's really important right now is take your 2020 census. That's a lot of people don't realize this, but the census really has a huge impact on the amount of federal dollars that our community receives to help with exactly situations like this on disaster relief and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's very easy. You can go to 2020census.gov, I believe it is, and you can take your census, and it really makes a huge difference. We need as many people as we can to fill that out, so that way whenever we have situations like this that are occurring right now, we can have as many federal dollars available as possible to help us get through it.
Perfect. That's great, man. Really good advice and good suggestions there. We'll put a link to the chamber and the census as well in the comments here, so people can find that real easy.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man, for joining me. I really appreciate it. And thanks for your service and your leadership as well.
Hey, I appreciate it, Robert, and thanks for what you're doing too. All the best to your family.
Absolutely. Likewise. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Stay safe, stay home, and we'll see you next time.
Okay. Thanks.
Thanks, bud.